Okay, guys, here we go. And hi, Melissa. You guys, this was just a live that I'm trying to throw in there because I just got off my shift about a half an hour ago, and because my next day off isn't till like Friday. But there was like so many things that I wanted to quickly go over with you guys. So for this live, I'm pretty much going to get straight to the point of the things because there's a lot that's been going on. There's the Lore Lodge, with Steve Fisher on that one from the Lore Lodge. There's the Pincho Paxton video. I remember Pincho from the Nicola Bully case. And he put out a 3D model video. Now, when me and Melissa were talking about this last week, we were talking about the flashlight video. And so we'll talk about that again because I really spent time on a video from like when we got off our last live about a week ago, and so I was working on a video, but because of my shift being 12 to 8, and other things that I just honestly just didn't have a lot of time in the meantime and in between time. So I thought, you know what, tonight I'm just going to schedule a live and I want to go over things as quickly as I can in a sense. And good evening, of course, American Justice, which is Melissa, Little Miss Sunshine. How are you? Good evening. And thanks for anyone that is coming into the live tonight. I have not seen. Oh, well, Melissa, you should. Well, you know what? You're going to watch it tonight, anyways. And so don't forget, there's a survey up there as well. Obviously, if you haven't watched it, then you wouldn't know. Now, I do want to say, I think that Pincho did a really good job on this 3D module that he did of replicating the dark video that we know is out there of the camera footage from the house that's at the beginning of Stafford. And so that's why when we got off our live last week, I really wanted to look at the different 3 videos in that, and then including Nick Perez's video to this, because I really wanted to more deep dive into it. So what had happened with that one was so when that video came out, right, we all know that we had very little information to go on. We just saw some light movement going on. It's a recording of a recording because the owner didn't know how to, extract it off their computer. But there's one thing that I can say that about that video that's out there, like with the little clips of it, is that you can tell like that it's a legit camera video, because when it's being recorded, especially once the other pieces of the video were released, where you could see the boat and the trucks and stuff like that, you could also see off to the side the 2 different recordings, and I'll point that out as we go through it. But you can see where it says like the 4th, and if you go back to February 24th of the 26th there, regardless, even though it's time stamped for that, the 4th is in the exact spot where it should be on the Sunday. And right, because you can tell at one point when they've recorded one piece, it's straight up and down and you can see it, and then the other one's a little bit off. But I'll point that out when we play that. Pincho is not the mob crew. So the mob crew is Chris. Pincho Paxton is somebody different. That's a person, I guess, like I said, a lot of people have been following the mob crew, with the flashlight video. And, Jennifer Coffindaffer was on here and was talking about the flashlight video as well. Me and Melissa had been talking about it as well. So we're going to get into that in a second. I want to talk about the Lore Lodge quickly first, and Steve Fisher. Now, during a live, and it doesn't really matter. So the first time I had noticed that Steve Fisher, the first time I noticed was so basically he was following the Riley Strain case. And then at some point, I remember on Twitter, he started following Sebastian's. And I remember him posing out a question of what high school did Sebastian go to? And you could see that he was kind of looking at the case, and he was providing some maps of search areas that people, for looking and whatever he does, and, the stuff that he does well in life, perhaps. So anyways, that's the first time. So I answered him back saying, about the beach school. And then you could tell he started really getting into the case because, again, on Twitter, so I had followed him. Now, in saying that, he'd been putting out some posts and different things like that. And then over some time, I noticed that he was being very ignorant and what I'll call rude to people. Like he was very arrogant, abrasive in his talking, but I never commented on anything. I just am one of those ones that usually I just, watch and observe. And if there's any information to do with Sebastian's case type of thing. But anyways, so you all know that he's been very abrasive on Twitter with how he speaks. What did throw me for a loop on this one is Steve Fisher can obviously talk a lot better when he's typing than when he's talking. Because I'll say the biggest thing that I took away from this video was, first of all, not a lot, really. There was not a ton of any information that we didn't know already. If, in fact, if anything, I appreciate the fact that the Lore Lodge and Steve Fisher, kept their niceties during the live and everything, which I expected. But if there's one thing I didn't expect, I wasn't expecting Steve Fisher to stammer over his words like throughout the entire live. Because I'm sure if we went back and edited it, that would save about a good half an hour at least of time. Because honestly, I don't know if I mean, he doesn't seem like the type of guy to get nervous with his, abrasiveness and cockiness and stuff like that. And it's a weird case. It is Dustin, Andrew. So yeah, so if there's one thing I wasn't expecting somebody to keep going, what I'm trying to say is, and he kept doing that throughout the entire live. So either he's just not a very good speaker, and that could possibly be the case, and he's just better on Twitter at raging or typing things regardless in regards to the case, and stuff like that. So were you guys kind of a little bit shocked at all that just how much stammering and tripping, like he just couldn't form a sentence and keep it clean? It always had to be stuttering, and I don't want to call it stuttering because it's more like when somebody stammers over their words, whether it's nerves that bring it on, if that happened. But he did it throughout the entire live. So that's the thing that really stood out the most is that he just always, it's even when somebody has to think about the words they're saying a bit, you could tell he was doing that. And was that contributing to his stammering? Because he's trying to be very careful on what he's saying. So my take on this is this: the Lore Lodge. I love that dude. I think he does great videos. Same with Deception Detective or Deception Detective. I really like his videos as well. My overall gist of this entire interview was, a couple things came to light. He said he got paid from November 14th from the Proudfoots when it went to like a paying thing. And I seen Lore Lodge question him on Twitter saying that he said October 21st and stuff like that. But I wouldn't say that there was this bunch of knowledge that came out of this. And I think the one thing is this, and this goes to both of them, is, and the Lore Lodge, unlike a lot of YouTube creators that have been following this case from the beginning, right? So I was expecting a lot more questions. I feel like a lot of the questions were there, but they were just dragged out things mostly we already knew. But I felt like it could have been dived deeper. But that's the thing, is that the Lore Lodge, unlike, say, myself or other YouTube creators that have followed the case from the beginning, it's kind of like when they have surface information, but they don't have the bones of it all. Like what we have watched was through Duchess and, spent time watching every single interview. So we know that there's a lot more questions out there that could have been asked. And I don't think that they hit on those overly well when it came to the scope of this case. So in all fairness, I just felt like it was ho-hum interview. I don't feel like Steve was being very open. He was guarded in his answers and he just stammered most of the time. He did try to explain a few things, and again, whether people take them or not, um, then that was just my opinion. But of course, I appreciated it. Of course, it turned to drama on Twitter after this interview, which, to be honest, I expected. Um, so I just think that at the end of the day, for me personally, and who watched it, if you guys watched it, is there anything at all that you wanted to put into the chat that you thought, that they should have asked, or how you felt about this particular interview? Um, at least they kept it cordial. Um, Again, it doesn't shock me like what was funny was, okay, so during a live about a week ago, um, SF, I don't know if he was watching, and then he ended up blocking me again. Didn't care, to be honest with you, but I was like, whatever, dude, you got such a big mouth, you wuss, but yet you can't handle, people and stuff. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like someone being an absolute hypocrite. They want to blah 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 their mouth and stuff, but they hate it when somebody else says something different to his thing. And then anyway, so I seen that the Lore Lodge put up a thing saying SF investigates blocked you. So I'm like, well, welcome to the club. Like, honestly, you knew it was going to happen eventually, right? But whatever. I mean, again, he wants to shoot off at his mouth. And if anyone has an opinion, I guess, different than his, he'll entertain people for a while, it seems like. Probably not the females so much, it doesn't seem, but probably for the males, it's kind of like, again, that male, egotistical, narcissistic, Christopher Proudfoot type attitude. So I'm sure that those two actually mesh amazing together, because they really both have the same personality traits. But I'd say that SF probably hands down even tops Christopher Proudfoot for narcissistic and arrogant, and yet he's stammering all throughout an entire interview. So good on you for that one, SF. And again, I'll take any information. Um, so let's just quickly see here. Um, Riley, they are missing several seconds of video, right when two cops' cars circled him. Can see it on a 3-hour live the night before he was found. Oh, Granny Annie is traveling again. Yeah, we followed that case, as you know. That was very sad case, very interesting case. I know a lot of people feel like that perhaps that there was more to it than met the eye. He ticked me off when he started downing Seth. Of course he does, right? Um, Again, if it doesn't fit his narrative, whatever. SF, I feel, gets paid by the minute, and he does Kamala's style word salad. That is what he does spin. Definitely. But I guess, I just internally, I couldn't help but laugh because I literally wasn't expecting someone to stammer throughout the entire interview that couldn't, conjugate just a simple sentence. And I don't know if it's because he was overthinking the answers, or if or if he's just a bad speaker normally. And, because some people are better behind typing than they are speaking, anyways. So that did give me a bit of a giggle, considering how mouthy and narcissistic he is, that it was hard for him to seem to form just a complete sentence most of the time on there. And so yes, I would have asked him if the videos that were released are 100% true and not mean right. There was definitely things, definitely, like, especially when they were talking about the flashlight video. Like I said, things were gone. There was a few things that were gone over rather quickly, and we're just like, no, 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 no. Like ask more about this. Like, be more, like zone in on especially because the flashlight video is huge, you know. I definitely would have liked to have seen that one talked about more. But again, I think somewhat this is the difference between YouTube creators that are literally only deep diving this case, and they know the ins and outs of pretty much almost every interview out there, besides someone that I would say is probably 50% have knowledge of Sebastian's case when it comes to, all these interviews that are out there that we know of. And I could be wrong on that, but that's how it has come across to me when people cover cases, but they're also covering other cases, right? Whereas someone like myself and stuff, you're just deep diving into the one. And by the way, just to interject on this, I do want to say that Delphi, Delphi again, the resurrection of, Ron Logan. Vinnie Politan had done a live on his own channel with that as well. Of course, it's out, and then of course that, you know, jailhouse witness, or not witness, but the jailhouse phone call from the one guy that was in his cell with Ron Logan that called the other dude. And then they said all these different things. And apparently that happened like on the 5th of March, January, February, March, 5th of March of 2017. And it was in the paperwork. Because if you see it up top, I remember seeing it on Twitter. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was entered in 2023 when all those little things were gone through. Like all the little different paperwork, like Richard Allen stuff. Anyways, all I got to say about that is just we'll see what happens. We'll just see what ends up happening. We only get word salad from SF. Yes. Again, it's really these people that think that they're so smart, that are smarter than everybody else, and da 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 da, like I said, they kept their niceties throughout the live on there. I just walked away from it going that it was okay. That it was okay, that I'd like to see a part 2. I would have liked to seen like definitely more information on certain spots during that live, especially when it came to the flashlight video, talking to the neighbor, because he did seem to backpedal on a few things that he had said on Twitter versus what he was saying on the live. Hi, Gigi. How are you? And again, for anyone, sorry, guys, it's the only time I could do it tonight. And I really wanted to do it no matter how many people are in here. It's just about bringing awareness to Sebastian, talking about it with you guys. Okay. Hi, Sharon Parker. How are you? Time being slowed down and zoomed in is odd to me. And that. So, hey, Charmaine. How are you on there? Okay. So now this, Melissa, this might be a little bit of a shocker for you. But I have so once I hold on, I got to do one more thing. Have you guys ever had a raspberry orange before? Let me just ask you. Have you guys had a raspberry orange ever? Because we carry them at the Save-On here, and I got 2 bags of them. And although they still taste like oranges, they are they're called raspberry oranges, right? I'm thinking raspberry flavored oranges. Oh my God. But guess what? They just taste like oranges, but they just look different. Okay. So, by the way, I just want to thank my husband. When he came home today, he's like, there's a package coming, and if it comes, don't open it. Well, my husband, he ordered me about 7 tops, this being one of them, from Temu, and I was just like, oh my God, is this Christmas all over again? He'd ordered me some shirts not too long ago, and anyway, so my husband loves me. He loves me. Anyway, so just to give you a glimpse of what a raspberry orange looks like, maybe I can do it better this way. Okay, so it's like, blood orange type of thing. Raspberry oranges. Kind of crazy. But you know what? They taste good. It's all that matters. They taste like oranges. Like maybe there's a little different taste. But I eat oranges all the time. Mandarins, regular ones. But I would, if one was in my mouth, I would never think that it was, first of all, this color. And I'd never think that it was not just a regular orange. Yeah, it looks like blood. Anyway, okay. I just was curious if anyone had a raspberry orange before. It's when they morph this shit together that kind of freaks you out a little bit. Like, how do they get strawberries this big? You know, stuff like that. Okay, back on track. So I'm going to stop the screen. So now we're going to go and talk about the lights video. Okay. And we'll come to Paxton's shortly enough. And again, appreciate the hard work. Did a good job. Justin Clutch Them Pearls had played it. And then Mob Crew had played it as well the other day. And Mob Crew, of course, had Jennifer Coffendaffer on his live today. And they had, quite a few thousand in there. It ended up from probably between Twitter and Facebook and whatever. Anyways, because I remember at one point he said there's about 4,000 people in there. So I was able to watch the live. It was so quiet today at work. And I didn't use my other computer. So I was just, watching some videos because there was no emails, no phone calls. So I was like, whatever am I going to do? So anyways, so I was watching some Jennifer and some Mob Crew. I watched about 90% of it, to be honest with you. Okay. Blood orange. Okay. So let's see here. Okay. So this is what I want to talk about first. And I wanted to, of course, bring let's see here. What if I do this? If I do this, it makes it a bit bigger. And you know what? Let me just take off of my overlay here because maybe it makes it just a little bit better. So after me and Melissa, like I said, I talked about this video last week and we were looking at the camera angles, and so I started strolling down Stratford, going back to the camera angle. And what I did notice, Melissa, is contrary to what it looks like from one angle and how it looks in comparison to the boat and whatever, the camera is actually not actually. Maybe I'll do this first. Maybe I'll pull up. Yeah, let me do this first. Maybe I'll pull up Google Earth first. Or is this Google Maps? I don't know. One of the two. Okay. So can you guys see that okay? Make sure. I'll take myself off the screen again and put comments here. And I'll look at the comments in a minute, guys. Raspberry oranges sound awesome. Yeah, they look awesome for sure. Okay. So when we go to this camera that's, at this home right here, and okay, there we go. Okay. So when you're actually looking at this camera from, say, over, back over here, back over here. When you look at this camera, it looks like it's facing actually more like this area. But, when I went back to it, because I really wanted to look into this video. And the reason why I never paid no mind to the video too much is because once Seth and Christopher Proudfoot came out saying that they were called into TBI, and Kathy, Proudfoot, or Katie, why I call her Kathy, Katie Proudfoot, when they were called into LE, the TBI, they were shown the video. They were showing it from February 9th and February 26th. Whatever comparison, they were told that it was the garbage truck video or a garbage truck or something like that. Now Seth, he didn't touch on that as much as, say, Gray Hughes did with Christopher. So yes, Seth Rogers talked about it, the timestamp of being stuck when he was watching it, blah, 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 blah. But Christopher Proudfoot was talking with Gray Hughes, and then Gray Hughes sent him his representation of what he thought it was that Christopher Proudfoot was saying. And then according to Gray, Christopher Proudfoot, gave him that looks good type of thing. So, okay. So now once that happened, right? And this is maybe I'm naive a little bit here, because I like to think that LE's not going to play with us, that they're there to ask us for our help when they need it, put out certain information as it comes. And, so when Seth and Christopher had talked about the flashlight video that wasn't a flashlight video, and you can tell, like both of them have laughed, about it in a sense. And so I had never kind of really looked at it again because I don't like to waste my time on stuff that I don't feel is necessary. Like, why? If they've come out and said that, why would we not want to believe them? Like, in all fairness, you know, because you don't think that they're going to come out and try to deceive you or deceive the parents and whatever. Now, so I went back to this road to look at the camera. And if there's one thing I do want to point out, and this is what I used for my own personal starting point, and this is my own personal interpretation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So when I went back to this camera, it for me, it really wasn't too hard to realize that blue line's coming in from somewhere, but I don't know where, but whatever. Is it there? Okay. So I went back to this camera. And I'm sorry that I'm on Google Earth, I think. Yeah, I am. If I was on Google Maps, I would come in clear. But you guys can see right here where the sun is catching the angle of the camera. And so basically I took the line from the camera because that's the line in which the camera is basically focusing on. Okay. So once I looked at the camera up closer, and on Google Maps you can, I realized the camera wasn't facing up the road like this, like we thought, that it was actually facing this way. Okay. So now in saying that, and I'm going to stop this and go back to the design. Okay. So in saying that, let me see here. Okay. So I took the angle of the line that's that's underneath this arrow, right? Just like you can see here, you can see the line underneath. And where did that line lead me to, right? So I basically took it, followed the line to where approximately, obviously, it would be following, which was over this truck, and there. And then, hold on. So then I wanted to take, of course, the line further. Where exactly was this camera view and where did it go? Okay. So then I wanted to do that. And let's see here. So the arrow out is now on this piece. It's coming out and it's pointing over to there, over to, the, what you call the common area of Stafford. And again, you can see it kind of here where it's pointing over there. And if there's one thing, and then this one here is Pincho's. This is from his 3D module. And you know what? You can actually see the same thing. Really, you can see like that he's using some lines here. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you because once I actually, paid attention to the videos out there, because it is clear as day that, and you can see it in this picture here, it is clear as day. Well, actually, you can't really see it in that picture. I have to show you the other one, that the lights are coming from, let's see, never eat, to the east. They're not coming straight up to that, where that White House is, like I originally thought, right, Melissa, when we were playing. And because I had all the 3 videos there, now, do I have any more of this before I move on to those? So this one here, we might come back to it. So this is up here in this part of it. That's Pincho's recreation, garbage cans, the boat. And I was using the boat as a line of reference myself, actually. So when he said that, it kind of made me laugh, right? Because this is honestly the best video out there for interpretation of that day. Now, although he has I can tell that he has missing things from the houses or where it doesn't make sense, but maybe he just didn't add them because when we play his video, you'll see where his lights are, but I don't believe that that's a true representative. I definitely believe that the lights are coming from this house, which is the one beside the Proudfoots, but up in the corner, not over right here. I don't think that makes sense. I've looked at the home. Well, why is it do? Oh, that's because I'm in bigger mode. 1 second. I've looked at the home, and you can see that there's come on, where are you? Position. Let me 1 second here. That's hold on. Let's see here. I want to bring that one to the forefront. Come on. Oh, let's just whatever. 1 second. We'll just do copy. And then we'll come down, add page, paste. Okay. So when you zoom, I guess, in as best as you can, hold on. Okay. So when you zoom in, the lights are hidden because this is obviously like bushier and lusher a time of the year. There's a light near the door. There's a couple lights here and here. But when we get back to the video, you can tell that those lights aren't apart. They're what they are. They're floodlights. You can tell just by, when it's glimmering, you can see that they do that little hooky thing and then have like the floodlights, meaning they're together. So that's the only one thing that I would definitely pick out a little bit of his video, is that where he's showing the lights, but yet he's pointing his arrow, I believe, to the right spot. So I think that it's just kind of like, so now there was people that are going, the lights are above the garage of this house. So I believe it's absolutely the same house, but it's not above the garage because those lights clearly are the floodlight type of ones, and they're two together. That's why you're seeing it like that. Let's see here. Let me just read a couple things. Chris and Pincho did great. They are going to write. Exactly. So I will look forward to that as well. Where did this pic come from? This is from me pulling it off of Google Earth and Google Maps. So basically what I'm building up to here is when we go back, when we watch Pinchos. Now, I just want to, and then, sorry, Loxy said, or Loki said, is it Loxy or Loki? Did the house that captured the photo of the Proudfoot's house from the front have lights on? Did the house that captured the photo of the Proudfoot's house from the front have lights on? Well, the only thing we know about that is that the neighbor that has a camera has captured certain things on her camera. One of them was that Sebastian's light turned off. The lights were on. The lights turned off at 9:08. That the living room lights turned off about 11:48 at nighttime. And that's why the neighbor basically had said that everything Katie had said about that, was true. And that it's the same neighbor that would have seen Katie's car leave in the morning and then, come back again. Okay. Remember when she says that she goes and checks the school. But I also remember Lauren saying something about like a door being left open, and she forgot to ask her about that. So that one always sits in my mind. Nowhere did the daytime pic from the security camera come from, but then you said it was a recreation. Nowhere did it's a recreation. Yeah. And that one's from, see, give us that video, people. So in saying that, we're going to watch that. Again, that's Pincho that did that. So, okay, you know what? Should we watch Pincho's first? Let's watch Pincho's first on just, I have it up here. Okay, let's do that. So we're going to watch it from Clutch Them Pearls. And let me just share that with you guys. Give me a second. So I kind of guess what I'm basically saying about this whole video stuff, right? Is I feel like I'm wrong. I feel like I am wrong, and I feel like Ellie is somewhat deceiving us, or preventing more stuff to come out about that video, to be honest. I don't usually like to go that route. I usually like to go the route of what sounds sane and what sounds, normal. And if we hear Seth and Chris talk about it, that were called into TBI. But I think it's, once I've looked at these videos myself, that it was clear that those lights are not coming from straight up the road. Like Christopher Proudfoot was telling Gray Hughes or whatever. I don't think it's accurate at all. And I think that, like I said, after we watch a few things, that it will be clear. So to me, I want to say, so it's not the fact of not disliking Mob Crew or Chris or anything like that. It was about feeling that, wait, if Ali has said this, why are people still pushing this narrative, right? And I get it. A lot of people don't believe. So as me and Melissa were talking about, it's kind of like, in a sense, it's like, really, you guys are still believing this is a flashlight video? And, even though Ali is literally told the parents this, but after I was looking at it myself, I walked away with the same conclusion as Pincho. And from the thing, after looking at it myself, I was looking at the direct line of the camera, like I just showed you guys a few minutes ago, because the sun is shining right on that camera and which direction it's going. So all you have to do is follow the arrow across the street. And when you look at the video footage of that, not Nick Perez's one, but of that other videos where they showed the whole picture in the recording, and we'll get into that, is that there's only one place that those lights can be coming from, and that's from the neighbor to the Proudfoot side of the greenery. And that's probably why, and I don't know for sure. But when I had messaged Nick Perez and said, hey, they've talked about the flashlight video now, and they were told it was garbage truck. And basically Nick Perez said to me, I'm not buying that for a second, and at first I was like, honestly, I was just like, oh, okay, well, just I'd let you know. And I was just like, why? Like, honestly, why are people not believing this? Like, if Ali's saying it, why are we not believing this? And so last week I started just looking at it myself. Like, I like to do my own homework, but I never paid attention, like I said, because I was under the impression that we were being told the truth. And now I don't feel like we are, to be honest. And for whatever reason, from Ali, perhaps, and this is just my own thoughts, but I don't believe we're being told the truth. I believe that there definitely is a light video. I believe that two of the lights perhaps are stationary and one is moving. I do not believe at all that it is some guy taking down his garbage to the garbage thing, because honestly, it doesn't align with that. It doesn't align with going straight up and seeing this guy come down taking his garbage. It doesn't align with the garbage truck up on Honeysuckle. What it aligns with is the light coming from the neighbor's house top corner, right beside the Proudfoot's home, floodlights. And then the second light is moving somewhere in that common area, because you can tell it's further back, meaning towards the Proudfoot area. And then you can tell that the third light that you guys always see in the very corner of like Nick Perez's video, that one, it honestly seems like a stationary light, because it doesn't move, but we'll get into that. So let me play this. So again, Pincho Paxton, I guess he has his own channel, which I didn't know. And so that's what Justin is giving credit for. So let me just get to the point where he's going to start playing it. Well, let's just start here.
There's lights that move around. So let's take a look.
Let me.
The lights happen over here on the right. That's where you need to keep watching. And there you see there, look, this light moving around.
Okay, so just pay attention.
This is one of the flashlights, right? Moving around right here.
But nobody knows exactly which direction this camera's pointing. And that's the problem. We don't know what this building is here. We don't know where these lights are and why this light's moving across the screen like this.
Okay, 1 second. 1 second.
Somebody walking around.
Okay, so just so you know, in this particular video that he's using, you can see. So this is the one where I say it's angled versus straight up and down when it's being recorded. So remember, this was someone recording from the device, right? So knowing that I've dealt with the cameras myself and these exact things with dates, we can tell that Sunday the 4th aligns with February, okay? And so even though if the timestamp is out, it's about whether this is a factual video or somebody trying to portray it is. But to me, it is, because the date matches and aligns with February 4th right here underneath the Sunday. And then, of course, like I said, and you're able to see this, right? That it's coming off the recorded screen and that somebody's recording this. So this is as big as I can make it from here, because we're just showing it like, well, I think Justin might make it bigger, maybe.
And have they got a torch? Have they got a mobile phone in their hand? Or even dustmen have been mentioned with lights on their hats. So that could be one of the things that is as well.
I feel that it's either a light on their head or a cell phone, personally. There is nothing that will convince me that this is someone at 3 a.m. taking out their trash, because it's not. There is a car clearly behind this truck. There is two individuals that, well,
Let's see if
before
we can
that,
move this.
before this car parks,
Hold on, let me see if I
showing up
can.
on that screen. So this white one,
Let's go back
a
into
lot of
this.
people think this white building is the white blob that you see on the screen. That building that you can't really make it out.
this was the home that I was just showing you. These are the two homes.
On the
Uh,
same side of the street. Remember, if the camera was going
that
straight up.
a creator recently, in their opinion, thought that it was these homes.
And this other building with the lights on could also be in the scene. Another theory is that the lights are someone taking a bin down one of these drives. And that's what you see moving around on the screen. So if it's this white building, then the white light that moves around is someone taking their bin to the end of the drive, or one of these drives up here somewhere. If we just pop to Google Earth for a moment, you can see the camera where they recorded the video from, the famous mailbox that people get confused with the truck. This is the camera over here. This is the angle of the camera over these vehicles in the driveway.
It's very important.
People want to know exactly where that's looking. So you look around and you've got the buildings, the white building that I've just mentioned, the other building.
So we'll stop. I just want to stop that.
And then you've got.
Okay, for a second there, let me just go right back to that picture. And you guys can watch this on Pincho Paxton's, like the full-size version too here. But no. Okay, hold on. I want to stop it right here. Okay, so the camera isn't going straight up like it looked like. When you looked at it from one angle, it looked like it was geared to go straight up the street, and that you were going to see a little bit of the right side, but mostly of the left side. And so this is where that house is straight ahead of you, and the garbage person, again, if it was in 2007, you would see a better, view of it on the sort of these luscious bushes here. But all you need to do is take the driveway and where the driveway is, because you can see it like right here, right where it says Stafford, and darn well, and I just showed you just from the on the wall of where the camera is, which direction that camera is actually facing. And if you think about the trucks being here and the boat over to this side, those lights are clearly, when he shows it again, and when I'll show you, are clearly on this side of the street. There is no up here anywhere. The camera goes over here, and that's where the lights are. And that's when I really, well, anyways, I'll play this still and then we'll get into it.
At all on the tree, unless it's like an evergreen.
Really
there
cool,
is a
Melissa.
tree in the Sebastian's yard where I think it's a magnolia tree, that tree stays green year round, I believe.
I'm going to fast forward
to
a
get
little
them
bit
exactly
here.
right.
Okay,
The
this is
ones
just
that
him
are in the
explaining his
sea
3D model in the
positioned
street.
exactly in the right place.
Okay, so let's just get to the
Tell
gist of
some of
this.
them how accurate they are.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now, okay,
Buildings
this is his
disappearing because
3D
I've got
model
the
here.
background off. But when I do this for real, you'll be able to see the building as well, and you'll know what building we're looking at because I can turn the
Watch
night
this.
into day.
Watch this. I'm just going to back a little bit. Watch this. Watch that.
Building's disappearing because I've blocked the background off.
He's basically
background.
showing you
But when I
the
do this
entire
for real,
overlay.
Now that's the for real one.
Mhm. Look at the lights there to the right up here.
I mean, that's pretty exact.
Be able to see the building.
Watch, he's gonna do it again.
And you'll know
There
what
you go.
building
See?
we're looking at because I can
Right there.
turn the night into day. And you'll be able to see everything in the daytime. And you see this boat, right? You've got to keep an eye on that boat. It's half chopped off at the
Boom.
top. That's very important.
Watch.
I've chopped it off at the top. They've chopped it off at the top. You'll see why that's
See the-
important.
Hold on. I'm going to rewind that part because I don't want you guys to miss that. Listen to what he says about the boat here. The boat is up here.
No, there is a moving light, Granny, and we'll get to that.
You'll be able to see everything in the daytime. And you see this boat, right? You've got to keep an eye on that boat. It's half chopped off at the top. That's very important.
You guys see,
Very, very
right?
important.
Now I've chopped it off at the
One
top.
second when he comes
They've
back
chopped
to
it
it.
off at the
Okay.
top.
So you guys see where the lights are, right? So this is what would be floodlights. You can tell because it has, like, there's a couple things that are, to me, are misrepresented a little bit, meaning between what YouTubers are saying, but when it comes to another light part, but we'll get into that. But you can see if you're following the angle of this, right? Because all these vehicles are in the same parking lot of that house, right? With the boat at the corner. So if those are there, and me too, I was using the boat and the trucks kind of like as the line of reference. So if they're there and that camera is pointing down towards them, but yet these lights are all to the right hand side, you know that it's not going straight up. Because if it was going straight up, that would be right past the boat. And you would have to, go as if you can remember what Google looks like and see that white house that's straight up from this house at the corner. And it just doesn't happen. It's not there. Just like to me, the garbage person that SF is trying to say that said, 5 minutes before the garbage, I had a flashlight. No, I'm going to call bull on that as well, myself, because those lights are definitely floodlights that are on a building. And then you have the two lights to the right, the one that's really to the corner, and then you have the one that is considered moving. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to show you my stuff after this. But this is really important because I think you did a really excellent job. Once I looked at it myself and realized the direction of the camera properly, and Nick Barris's angle was correct, that Hugh was showing on that live video, the more that I understood exactly where these lights were coming from once I actually put time and effort into looking at it myself. So what Pincho has done is created a 3D model to show you this is it at nighttime, and then he's going to show you what it will look at daytime. Okay, so I'll just play it out.
You'll see why that's important soon. It's time for you to make your own guess. Where do you think we're looking? What do you think this building is over here? Is it the big white building that we saw earlier? Is it the garage doors? If it's the garage doors, are the lights?
Okay, we're going to do a poll.
Okay, wait, he does
We're going to do a poll.
Let me fast forward.
Okay.
Let's go past the poll. Okay.
Now, can you figure out?
Green.
We'll go right here.
At the same time.
It's not possible. So that's a big clue. Okay, let's take the wall out.
Here we go. Here's the reveal.
Delete. Now we'll be able to see where we're looking when I do my final render. So here we go. I've taken the wall away, and now I'm going to reveal my image.
Watch
the
this.
Wall taken away.
Watch.
And now you can see the.
Okay, they just added lights. I'm going to make this bigger. What do you think that is? Does that look like a just in the dark? Does it look like a brick home to you? Or does it look like a white house just from what you see? Let's see.
The building that it's looking at. And it's a pretty good match.
Watch this.
It's a good match, but it's still not spot on, but it's pretty darn good.
Look how aligned it is.
Like, I couldn't do any better.
Now, can you figure out which building that is? It's not white, so that's a bit of a clue, isn't it? It's not one of the white buildings.
So it's not one of the white buildings. It's a bit of a clue.
It's a red building. It's got bricks. But what is this light here?
Once he turns the lights on, it's undisputable.
Today in a minute, so you'll see the whole building.
It is, but it's a little bit misleading to me. A little bit.
And these lights.
But still the same house.
Sides. What could they be? So are you ready to see me turn night into day?
Night into day.
Night into day.
I paused it right there. Pincho is so gifted. He turns night into day.
Okay.
And this is where you're looking. And
this is where you are looking, people. Let's give Pincho a round of applause.
Okay. So again, great video. But those lights are not coming from there, in my opinion. So I think he did a really great job. But as I'll show you actually is okay. So when you're looking at those lights, let me just go back to when he's showing the lights. Okay. When he's showing these lights, these are clearly those two type of round lights that are floodlights at the end of a home. And you can see it where it's dark in the middle, and then the white, you can see like the hole, like say where the bulb goes in a sense, and then it's the roundness around it. And you can tell that it's like two of them together, right? Like floodlights. So again, there's no floodlights like that on the garage. And so here, let me stop screen. Again, I'll show you a couple pictures here. I want to go to this. Okay. So making this bigger. Again, there is a light near the door, but that's not creating the dualness. And then there's a light here, right? But again, that's not creating two things side by side. So the mock-up of this house was not correct to me in the mock-up of this home, because if you look, it's like 3 garages and then 2 windows, and basically the house kind of ends here where that tree is. And let's see here, sorry, let me go back. I got this big again. Okay, let me go back to the stream. Okay, and then if we go back to just his video and show this again, window, or this tab, boom, whatever. Okay. And then let's go to the part where he shows it. Okay. Again, the lights are right here. And then when he shows it, so right here, it looks like these are two floodlights, but yet there's no two lights together that would kind of create that look to me. And this is just my opinion, you guys, because to me, those are floodlights. So you see the mock-up of this home here? It's actually, so that's not quite the way the home looks. It's basically got three, it's hard to see in this one, you guys, but it's got three garages, then it's got a couple windows, and then there's a little bit more space where the home ends. So this is almost like the mock-up isn't quite right to this home, and where the floodlights are on this home, but knowing that this home seems to be not particularly spot on how it's designed, because you can tell by where the windows are, that there's floodlights here. Now, so in saying that, let me grab that picture that I do have. Right here. Okay, 1 second. Okay. So let me just go back here. Stop. Present. We'll do the picture. Okay. So this is the backyard of the Proudfoot home right here. And they do have some floodlights, on their side. I can't see it on this tree, but you see right here, the neighbor's home, what he was trying to show there. So that's kind of like where it was, to me, perhaps wrong, is that anyways, that there's floodlights here on the home, when you look at it. And so, that's to me what gives the illusion of the two lights, right? You got the roundness and then you got the darkness, because that's where the bulb would go. So when you're looking at that video, regardless, to me, it's still the same home. It's just that to me, the floodlights are the ones up in the corner, which would make sense. And it just could, like for me personally, just could be simply because maybe the lining's out, that not everything's quite perfect, that it's still the same home. But those to me are absolute floodlights that are up there. Okay. Do you guys agree? Disagree? Okay, this is where you disagree. Okay, so why would you disagree then? Let's see here. Why would you disagree? Melissa, I think the floodlights are on the other side of the house that you were showing. So if he's positioned it, okay, hold on. Okay, so this is the home. Do I gotta move? Come on. Okay, so if this is the home, right? And if I even back it up, if I can back it up just a little bit for a second. Come on, Google. Hold on, let me just come back here a bit. Okay. So we can see that there's three garages, a door, and then the windows, and the floodlights would be right here. So if he put the floodlights here, well, there's no other floodlights in this section. So are you saying that you think the floodlights are near the garage, like on this side? On the side beside the garage, but there's no floodlights on the garage, right? I mean, these two lights, you can tell like they're connected to each other. So, okay. So again, if you're looking at two lights that shimmer and show that they're kind of like those floodlights that have the little bit of droop down, and then they have the bulb that's round, and you see two of those, right? If it's in the corner of the house, like you said, the cam would be hard facing right. Well, the camera is literally facing, and I've already so I've already shown you, right? Because it's right. Okay, Let me do this again. Hold on. Okay. So this is the home, right? So the mock-up is off by how it looks, because this looks like it's way extended. Okay. There's literally no two lights together here. There's not, like, there's this light here and this light here, but those can't even possibly match up to seeing the other two. It makes sense for the floodlights in the right-hand corner, because one second here. Wait, am I showing you the right thing? Oh, I'm not even showing you that. I was trying to, here, let me go back. So that corner part here, one second here. Okay. So if we go up to this home, okay. Whoops, it's going by it. Let me go. I gotta go back a little bit. Come on, giddy up. Okay. So again, what I was saying was there's no two lights here that are close together at all. There's one here, there's one here, and there's no floodlights. Okay. They're quite a bit apart, but that's not what we see in the video. What we see is two lights basically drooping like this with two bulbs, right? So there's no way that those can match up possibly with two bulbs that are close together. And again, it was just a mock-up of his best guess. And again, believe whatever you want. That part doesn't matter. But the camera, okay, this is the home, right? And the camera is not facing straight up the street like was originally thought, or at least by some of us, right? You guys can see the camera angle line. Hold on. Let's go back here. You guys can see the camera angle line. So if you follow the camera angle line down, doesn't matter about meaning how much you can see, bottom line, the camera angle takes you over here. So if the camera angle doesn't take you here, but takes you over here, okay, the only thing that has two things close is right here on the corner of this home where there's floodlights. Now, his mock-up showed that they kind of were near the garage. And again, it's not like his mock-up is perfect, and it's not like, but I mean, for me personally, this is common sense. If there's two lights together, hold on. There's two lights together. Let me go back to that for a second. And again, you guys can have your own thoughts, totally however you want. Bottom line is those lights are coming from that side of the street. Whether you guys think of it's on the garage or think it's at the corner of the house, doesn't have not hide nor hair at the end of the day to me. It's a matter of where these lights are and where they belong in what section of the whole video. So let me go back here again to the video. Okay, so this is the carousel thing or whatever, okay? And then he has his arrow pointing here. But you know what the thing is that his arrow is pointing here. And I'm, not at the garage, but it's pointing here. This extension is wrong. It doesn't match the mock-up to the true house. There's not this big open space like this, first of all. It ends right here. Like, it ends right here, the home. So the mock-up is off for sure. But in saying that, it's still a great job. Just like there's stuff missing from this home over here. But this home is not that long. It stops here, in a sense. So meaning the mock-up is off. Okay, but still, okay, well, let's go back to it. So actually, you know what? We'll go play the video. But so the two lights are here. How do those lights that are right here, which I'm saying are the floodlights in the corner, how do those possibly even look like they're the ones that are sitting on the garage? Like, how does that even make sense? I mean, I know that that's small, but even if I make it big, I mean, the ones that we see above the garage are in these long cylinder cones. So how do you manage to get two lights beside each other? It only makes sense to me that they're the ones on the top corner. And because his mock-up is off, that would make sense to me. So um, either or, at the end of the day, it was about the boat going in line with it. Because what the bush, yeah, but what about the bush? I say that because of the bush that you can see. Well, you can see, well, actually, we'll get to that. So let's actually stop this for a second. Whoops. Hi. Hello. And then I want you guys to go to this. No, not video file. Don't want to do that. Cancel. Let's go to share screen. Where is, oh, I think it's in my thing. Hold on. Okay. Minimize. I think I need to go to Windows. Okay. Okay, so let's go to this because this is what I wanted to, like, this is what I was looking at when me and Melissa got off that live. I'll take myself off the screen because I really need to make this the biggest I can for you guys. So give me 1 second here, make this bigger. Let me drop this down and okay, and make this bigger as I can. Okay, this is let me just see what you guys are saying. Okay, so this is pretty much as big as I can go, okay? Okay, so again, what Pincho did was, of course, take these videos, or at least one of them, and mock it up. I think it was the top one that he did there on that one. Okay, so what I'm going to go with you for a couple things. So again, these are the lights. The street is here. You just saw him turn on where those approximate lights would be, okay? Which obviously, if the camera is facing down, but yet it's capturing about where the boat is going right across, these lights have to be on the right-hand side because you're not going to see no guy coming down from his driveway. You ain't going to see the White House going straight. It literally stops basically where the boat is. And if you guys can think of the daytime approximately where the boat is, you know that it's angled there. And this is like the full screen. And again, just right here in this, see, I want to show you guys like here, right? When they recorded this piece of a video, look how it's straightened down, right? Right here where this red line is. And you see here, you can see that this is another recording they did and it's slanted. And you can see more of it, right? Because one's like a 20-second video, one's a 30-second video, a 34-second video on there. So what I thought I would do was go through this a little bit. And something that confuses me about that, when creators, to me personally, are saying that this light turns on in this vehicle, for me, I'm just going to explain to you exactly what I see because I don't see that whatsoever. What I see is going to be the roof of the truck and not someone turning on the light. So I want to put a little bit of preface to this because I do feel like what happens here is that on Kellen Lane, and I know that the LE said, and I know that SF said, right, 5:10, we truly don't know when this video is, besides SF saying 5:10, the LE saying 5:10, right around the time that the garbage truck comes. Definitely there's a vehicle that comes and that creates the cars to light up. Because if you know where this house is on the corner, and imagine a garbage truck coming, and it's definitely going to light up these vehicles. And that's what I see happening, whether you believe it's a car, but the thing is that we actually, besides what we heard, we actually don't know what time this is. It's stuck at 3:11, right? It could have been at 12. It could have been at 1. It could have been at 2. Could have been at 3, 4, 5 type of thing. We don't know. We only know what SF has said. And, again, but you can definitely tell a vehicle has driven by and it's kind of lit up the trucks. And hence why, to me, like these lights. Oh, oh, it's so nice that you're watching the live, Robin. Thank you for not messaging me. I literally don't care. So anyways, so my thing is this. I'm going to go through this with you for a second. And let's see here. Okay. So I'm going to hit play. Okay, so I got all these different screens, and I don't want to confuse y'all, but I'm going to play it out. And I just want you to watch, in a sense, the different screens. And then so there's the lights, right? Like, to me, there's 2 lights right there, but whatever. Okay, so now you see right there. Okay, you see right there. I don't understand myself personally, and you guys can totally disagree with me. We know that there's the 2 trucks, right? Right there. But I don't understand, like, to me, and maybe I'm wrong, but wouldn't that fit with the roof of the truck? And that's what's getting lit up? Because as you can tell, it's dark, right? Let me play that again. So it's dark. And then all of a sudden a light comes by, which illuminates. Okay, and then someone zooms in there, but whatever. But I'm just like, okay, like, is that not the roof of the truck lighting up? You know, like, what, like, where would the roof have gone? Why do people keep thinking that that's lights? You know, that miraculously somebody opened up a car door and that these lights went on. You know, to me, I would assume that that vehicle had a roof to it. So I don't understand that. Whoops, hold on. Okay, so I'm just trying to point that out. And again, believe whatever you want. That's perfectly fine. But to me, now, like I said, there's a few things that why I have all these videos up like this. So if you're looking at the light in the corner of the video, okay, now these are all like video recorded, right? Remember, this one looks different because you can tell. And this one, they took a straight on where it's up and straight. Okay. So these 2 right here, like, where's the moving light? Like, that one just stays in its spot. Okay. You can see the bit of the moving one right here, in here, for the second one, like the one that's in the middle of the 2 lights, the one that's moving in a sense. Okay, but nowhere is that other light moving anywhere. Because remember when Nick Perez took his, I mean, it's really hard because it shows you the light, but then it's almost like because he's moving, is it making it seem? So I believe, like Sia, Steve Fisher, and others, I think that that's a stationary light. The one that's, I don't think it's subject 1, subject 2 that way. I think that this middle one is a light. So regardless of where you feel like this light is, even though I believe it's floodlights, and if somebody wants to think it's over the garage, it still puts it on that home. So if this is on that home, then that means that when you go to daytime, that this is somewhere near the Proudfoot home around that backyard area, and that this light is more closer to us. So that's probably somewhere on maybe the home that's across from all this truck video, perhaps, you know, because it doesn't move. But anyways, so I know I needed to explain a few things on here just from what I saw. So look at each video, and that light on the far right, like, legit doesn't move. It only moves when Nick Perez shows his video, and then all of a sudden it acts like it's this moving light. I'm personally not seeing that from the actual full video. Like, when I'm saying full video, I'm meaning the full view video. Okay, because these are videos, and that light is not moving. And then there's Nick's video coming in. there's a light moving. Now, to point this out as well, these two are kind of pretty much lined up. But then this one at the bottom will stop, whereas Nick's continues on past it. But the lights should pop in close to the same time for those lights, okay? Okay, so you see how both of those lights just popped in at the same time? Right here, right here. Okay. And then the light just stops on our recording. But Nick has this other longer version of this supposed, whatever you want to call it, subject 1, subject 2 thing. Oh, sorry. It's only because I never did finish completing this video. So again, if these are all videos. So in the first video, that's like 34 seconds, you can see it, versus this is like the 19-second video. Okay. So this is 34 seconds. And yet that light's not moving again. After it gets to this point, we're not seeing any movement for 34 seconds at least. Okay. And like I said, that to me, that's the roof of the truck right there. Could be wrong, but I mean, a truck usually has a roof to it. But I mean, it by chance, I mean, it could be a light, I guess, if somebody wants to see it that way. Again, it's kind of neither here nor there, in a sense, because the 258 one, you know, and the Uber one kind of are ruled out, to be honest with you. But we don't really know when this video was taken, unless you want to just believe that it's 5:10, like Seth and Chris said, like SF said, or you cannot believe it. Either way, something happened to Sebastian during the nighttime where he went missing. So I think that's definitely why people want to hold on to, in hope of this. Even SF had said that, you know, like they were truly hoping that they could find something. But so I'm going to disagree with him on the whole guy taking a trash can down, because it doesn't align with where these lights are at all, right? You would have to go past your screen, past that boat, and go directionally that way. But this camera sees from the boat to the right side of the street where these lights are, regardless of wherever you think that they are, they're on the right side of the street. And again, watch here, we'll get back to it again. But watch when this video comes in, the lights sync with each other. And I can't see comments, guys, just so you know. You know, you see, like I said, the lights are kicking in same time. And then Nick's is still playing up top there. So his plays longer. You know, I don't want to spend too much time on this. People can come back and watch it if they want or not. It's totally up to you whatsoever. On there, okay, yes, reflection of what is not a truck. Yes, reflection of what is not on the truck. 1 second here, sorry. I don't think the lights above the garage are lights. They have lights in between the garage doors. Correct. They have lights in between the garage doors. But there's no dual light, you know. And to me, like I said, you know, think whatever you want. But to me, regardless, it's on the brick house. It's in the corner. And even actually Mob Crew was saying that today as well when he was saying it. Because Jennifer had said on the Proudfoot home, and he's like, and everyone in chat was like, no, corrector. And then Mob Crew was like, yeah, these lights are in the corner of that thing. And that's where I believe it. Again, I think Pincho did an awesome job at showing people daytime to nighttime and where those lights are in conjunction. I think he did a wonderful job on the 3D model. And honestly, again, it would be nice to see part 2 of the rendition of the lights. For me, so I think it's always strange that Sebastian had a light, right? A flashlight. I know it was like a week later when Katie talked about it, and she mentioned it in her first interview. I don't find that honestly oddly strange because they've literally had over a week to look through his bedroom and see what stuff is missing, what's not, what shoes are there, what shoes aren't, what clothes are there. They found the money in his closet and stuff like that. So if he played with something all the time and then you couldn't find it anywhere, and then a flashlight video comes out, so for me, I think that this is a flashlight video. So what is it, the moving light then, in your opinions, honey? Honestly, something to do with Sebastian. If it is Sebastian, or if it's the help of someone with Sebastian. So like I said, once I actually deep dived into these videos and realized that those lights are coming from that side, there's no way that they could be coming straight on. And then I think to myself, okay, so I guess maybe there was something to this the whole time. Because like I said, normally it's only because of what Seth said and what Christopher said that I just thought, well, why am I going to waste my time looking at a video? And whenever people were playing it, I'm like, well, what a waste of time that is. But hey, they want to keep thinking it is, go right ahead. We've heard differently. We've heard it's a garbage truck video. We've heard from SF that off the screen, not the one on Kellen, but that off the screen, the garbage truck comes. Who knows? It gets a little bit iffy about that time. I believe that definitely there's a vehicle that drives by, which creates the vehicles to light up. And whether that is deemed as the roof of the truck or somebody wants to deem it as a glow, I don't see it. I'm not going to sit there and try to put a car where it doesn't belong. If you can only see a part of a truck and then it lights up and then the rest of it, like right in this picture that you're looking at, goes to like a roof, because the truck has to have a roof, I'm going to deem it as that when the vehicle, whether it's a garbage truck going by, which makes sense because it's bigger and it would definitely catch the corner of the vehicles and light them up. I'm going to deem it as a vehicle regardless. It was driving by. It illuminated the vehicles like we saw on the camera. And then because of like some of the trees still have things, you guys can tell, like some of the tree leaves are moving on some of them or whatever, that it creates that little, that look, whether it's in front of a camera or on the top of this roof. If there's any tree around it and something lights it up and you see it, the shadows of the tree on it. But I mean, to me, a truck needs a roof. So I'm gonna say that that's a roof. It might not be. Some people might deem it as, oh, well, no, the roof would stop sooner. I don't care. Honestly, don't care. It just becomes about, are these videos? Is it a flashlight video? Is it Sebastian leaving at some point in the night? Or was he helped to go? Like, was he helped out of the home? Because something happened to Sebastian, right? Something happened to Sebastian. And after digging into this and looking at the lights, realizing doesn't matter what time it actually happened at, did Sebastian leave the home or did somebody help him? I think if Sebastian left the home by himself, like, because on Nick's video, they show it where the light comes and then the light heads back to the, like, in the direction of the Proudfoot home type of thing. Maybe there's some truth to that. Maybe there was some assistance, from the mother, perhaps. Maybe there was something, like, all I know is Sebastian disappeared. I think that there is credibility to this flashlight video more than I thought before. So I'm just going to say, I feel like I was wrong. And I thought that I was listening to the truth of what Seth said. But these don't align with a trash truck on honeysuckle. This camera angle doesn't align with that whatsoever. They align with the right side. They don't align straight up. No garbage man at 5 o'clock taking his trash down. The camera doesn't show that angle. So how could we possibly see that if we understood the direction of the boat, the height, in a sense, going directionally across, right? Because you can't add to the boat. You can't go past the boat and try to think it's that house, because obviously the camera wouldn't be able to see like that. It's just like it wouldn't be able to see that guy's um, elevated driveway either. Knowing, so looking at the 3D module and looking at it before I even seen, so it just so happened that I was working on this, I already came to my conclusion, and then just whatever, a couple days ago, Pincho, I guess, comes out with this video 3D model. So it really just added, when I saw it, I was just like, yep, that's exactly what I've determined too, is that these lights are from the Proudfoot / neighbor side of the place, just based on the direction of that, plus the camera. And he did a great job doing it. That's how I see it. Motion sensor floodlight. Okay, what was that? Was that the motion? A mountain lion. This is how rumors start. Motion sensor flashlight. I'm not sure what you mean by that, to be honest with you, Girl Granny. In my opinion, if he didn't have shoes on or a jacket, he probably was carried out from his bed. And that's what kind of, I think, Jennifer was touching on a little bit today on the mob crew. Because you think to yourself, okay, so, and it didn't dawn on me because when I originally was talking about shoes and a reason you would leave the house, it's usually when a child is pissed off and they just leave the house, regardless if they, whoops, sorry, I've done this before. It's because my thing. But anyways, and so I'm thinking, okay, what reasons would a child leave without shoes? Because you would think that the parents wouldn't be stupid enough to like go, hey, my kid ran away out the front door, locked it. Oh, but all his shoes are right here. But that was another option. Is that yes, that right, carried out. You're not thinking, let me throw on your shoes, right? You're thinking, toss you over the shoulder, take you out, something like that. And so I'm not sure, but perhaps when that light, the second light, the one that's moving, perhaps when somebody did hit the side yard, that those motion lights did turn on, those floodlights did turn on. Now, Katie and that have already said that they didn't have any floodlights on. They only had the garage lights on and those little solar panel lights that were in the front yard type of thing. Because Katie and that, they do have floodlights. Anyways, all I'm saying from my side of it is, after looking into this, I'm saying that I was wrong. That camera is definitely not going up the street. And even though Seth and Chris are saying that it was a video shown to them by Ali, perhaps Jennifer and mob crew and whoever else thinks that, that they're trying to maybe conceal the information because it's really one of the few things that they have to kind of go on with Sebastian's case, and trying to limit it, maybe trying to put out the narrative there so that we all just kind of look the other way while they concentrate on, some truth going on to this case. I don't know. Yeah, it's what happens when I accidentally hit my thing too long because it's sitting on top of my computer. Now, so the only other thing I think with Wondershare, 1 second again. So, I think it was here. Okay, so basically all I wanted to do was put the lights. Okay, so here's the home, right? So remember, like in Pincho's, that house isn't this big extension, right? It stops here, right? So this is what it would look like during February. And so but this is 2007. So obviously trees have grown and different things over the years, blah, blah, blah. There's some that still have leaves on, and stuff like that, depending on the type of tree it is. Okay, so the lights would then be in this corner here. Now, Pincho's was pointing here, but then again, the mock-up wasn't correct, right? So it was just a best estimate. But where were the lights coming from? Bottom line is, to me, the lights are coming from this home. So all I wanted to do was put the lights, the double lights, because, like I said, it's not a single light. I don't know. Here, let me just make this very clear. Okay. So there's a light and there's a light. This isn't a cylinder light near the garage. So all I wanted to do was just simply, right? People can say what they want. I just wanted to put the lights over top of the home here, the floodlights, just because if this is the source of those lights in the bigger ones, the ones that I'm saying are the floodlights, that means that the moving light is coming from somewhere in the Sebastian backyard, somewhere over here. Okay, somewhere over here. And this light I deem to be stationary. And I'm not saying this is accurate. I'm just putting the lights to where they were. But it's just really in reference. So if this light's here, or if it's here, doesn't matter, right? That would seem a little odd if it was here, but whatever. Then where are those other two lights? Well, the moving light is here. So that would put it basically towards the Proudfoot back area. And this one here is stationary. So there could be a light source coming from, but it's ahead of this. You can tell that this light is closer than that light, right? Just like you can see that this one is further in a sense, or well, closer, further, closer. So this light, to me, that one didn't move. There was no moving light for this one. This one was just, to me, a stationary light that could have been coming off of that home that's right across from the vehicle one. And so I just wanted to show you that. So if these lights are here, the other two have to be to the right of it. Regardless if it's here or here, the lights still have to be to the right-hand side. And so does it make sense? Does it make sense that Sebastian disappeared? Does it make sense that there's a video out there with some movement going on it regardless, and a flashlight was taken, or maybe he left without shoes because maybe there was no noise in the back. Well, we were told that a camera faces their backyard. Remember when Christopher was asked that or whatever, or how many entrances or exits, or was it with SF? Because we already knew that. I already remember that. If he would have left through the back, a camera would have seen him. If he would have left through the front, a camera would have seen him. But in saying that, it's so pitch black that it's easy for you not to make hide nor hair because it's just pitch black, right? So when Sebastian's light is on, obviously you're going to be able to see if some boogie man is rapping on the window or something like that. But anyways, I just wanted to go through you with that to say that I believe that this is some piece of the puzzle to the Sebastian Rogers disappearance. And I think that it's crazy to think that Sebastian by himself would have walked without shoes on, no jacket, and just shoes and stuff like that. That wouldn't make sense. He wouldn't have gotten very far, right? So I really hope, and I know I said this at the beginning of the case for Sebastian Rogers, searchers can miss people all the time. We saw it happen in the Nicola Bully case. We saw it happen in multiple cases where they're looking for a person, and then years later, they found that they were a block away. Look at, what's his name? Caleb Harris, right? Mystery. And yet somehow he got sucked down or something into this pipe or whatever, and he was like 3 blocks from home, because they can get missed. Absolutely. So that never leaves me always thinking that if Sebastian did leave on his own, even though you're trying to jump through hoops to understand how nothing picked him up because of the camera on Kellen Lane as well. It just seems weird to think that a child is going to bypass every camera. They're going to go without shoes on, and they're going to make it very far. You know, you would like to think that all the little crevice holes have been checked, but never underestimating the fact that people miss stuff. And we see it happen all the time. I used to preach that a lot at the start of this case because I was always leery. Yeah, you said you searched the whole area, but we saw so many cases where the child is found or the person's found still close to the same spot they went missing, and all these searchers, and yet they're overlooked. Okay. So I'm going to leave that part at that. I just want to play you guys a couple things that really irritated me with, like, say, Christopher Proudfoot and Katie. And these are just those stupid little things that they do and say that don't make sense. So let me see. Which one do I want to play first? I think I'll play the small clip first here. Let's see. This one irritates.
Just express, I can't even imagine as a parent what you two are going through. How would you describe the situation right now? How are you coping?
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of helpless and hopeless.
First, just express, I can't even imagine as a parent
I know it's
what
strange.
you two are going through. How would you describe the situation right now? How are you coping?
Me?
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of helpless and hopeless and many other.
What do you guys think there? Do you guys think that she just couldn't conjugate a sentence, which made her be like, help me out, and that kind of laugh? Or does it strike you as odd? And you said, can you do me a favor? Are you talking about me, Melissa? Yeah. The GH still don't know the truth on that one, on who she is. The GH. Talking about GH. You talking about Grey Hughes? When you say GH? The GH. Okay. So, another one I want to play, just because there's more that bug me than this. But let's do the calling the sheriff's office one next. There's 3 clips here.
Get them ready for school. And now we have a worried mom who can't find her son in the house. Mom made an effort to look and search several times. Mom has called me at the time and asked me, she was like, I can't find him. I was like, do what? She goes, yeah, I cannot find him. I said, well, hang on. I made the phone call and reported it to the sheriff's department because that's what we're supposed to do. And within 10 minutes, the sheriffs were dispatched to the location.
Okay, so just to point out, nothing said at all about Katie being in the car as they called 911. Okay, first 2 interviews, one with this one, Duchess. Next day they did WSMV, which is going to come up next. Again, nothing at all. In fact, especially pay attention to this next one, that they did the interview the next day and exactly what they said.
3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him. He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
And so at that point, is that when you call 911 or what's going through your mind?
While we were on the phone, and I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? The normal places he may be in the house, and he wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department.
Right? Okay, so immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department. I asked her to look, behind the bed, immediately he calls the sheriff's department. So let me play that part again, because they basically said the same thing in the first interview, but then it changes up in Chronicles of Olivia. But anyways.
After that, we called the sheriff's department and made the report.
I ran all over the house, outside,
Do that again. Hold on.
So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made the report.
I ran all over the house, outside, inside. I looked in every closet.
Within minutes, they were here. They responded within minutes, and here we go.
And I mean, mind you, all of this took place in like 1 minute flat. But I didn't see him in his room. I looked all over. I ran through the whole house. I looked out all the doors and windows, and I was like hollering his name. And I picked up the phone and I called my husband and I said, I can't find him. And he said, what do you mean? I said, he's not in this effing house. I can't find our son. And I jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school, and he's already like, at this point I was like hysterical and I was crying, I was screaming.
Right, guys? Whole different story. This was never said in the first interview, the second interview. This one comes out. This would have been actually the fifth time that they were talking, because there was 2 other ones in there, I think with Terry Lynn. And I think both were Terry Lynn. There was 2 of them that were in between this, because I always thought that this was the 3rd interview. But this was actually, I believe, the 5th interview, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, I'm losing track. But bottom line is, first interview, nothing about her getting in the car. Immediately in the WSM, immediately he called the sheriff's office, right? Immediately. And they were there within 10 minutes. But this one, let's just go back just a little bit.
In the neighborhood, and I drove over by the school, and he's already like, at this point I was like hysterical and I was crying, I was screaming. And he was like, he three-wayed law enforcement and was telling them like, our son is missing and we don't know what's going on. And he was like, go back to the house, they're on their way. And I drove back to the house. And
okay, so how different is that, right? And yes, exactly, MST 4581 on there. But I remember when he said that, because I was watching that the other day, that he just like a Houdini. It's just kind of like, a case to be studied after 8 days, right, Melissa? A case that needs to be studied. And in one interview, he says how Ali said it to him as if they're the ones that brought it up. And then in the other interview on Elevated Truth, he's like, he says that he had said it, and then they had said, yeah, like type of thing, like, yeah, definitely a case, we don't know where he went missing and nothing like that. Christopher Proudfoot says, honestly, you guys, we did a live stream the other day on Nina and rewatch that, because a lot of times people forget things that were said. Monster. He's a monster. Simple as that, regardless of, say, Sebastian going missing. But the whole point of rewatching that was to show that this guy is evil. He's manipulative. He's narcissistic. He's a monster. He abuses children. And he abuses females, right? According to Nina, and according to, of course, records, CPS, and stuff like that, right? And according to other exes that he had. Remember, he's been married 5 times, right? So that's why Terry Lynn was like, oh, so you didn't do that, so they're wrong too, right? Christopher Proudfoot has something to say for everything. But if you guys did join me that night and rewatch Nina's live with her, of course, rendition of what happened, to me, that's just someone being genuine, truthful, maybe a few things off. There's 2 sides to every story, 3 sides, to be honest with you. But I think you guys got the gist, though, of the evilness of his mother, of Christopher Proudfoot, and when they gave Faith back. So Isabella being the oldest, Faith, and then there's Noah in there that's between them, the 3 children, okay? And Faith, of course, being his, sadly. But anyways, you can just see, like, Oh, thank you, MS. Run around and desert you. Just know, I would desert you guys in a second. Just remember that, okay? Just saying. We like our Rickroll here, right, Charmaine, wherever you are? Right, Melissa? We like our Rickroll. Anyways, MST, thank you. There's a Sebastian heart in the emoticons for members, besides the other emoticons, but there's the Sebastian green heart because we all know that Sebastian is about green and bringing awareness and stuff like that to it. But this always bugs me because how could you be right there, in the second interview and first one, but the second one, especially when he says, and immediately we called the police and they were there within 10 minutes. When he is asked about what time he called, he actually says 6:20. Okay. But we all know that the call came in at 6:33. But then in this one, like I said, why all of a sudden, a few interviews later, all of a sudden, but now Katie's telling the story, who should be telling the story the entire time, right? Everyone, all we wanted to do was hear from Katie, not Christopher Big Mouth Proudfoot. We just wanted to hear Katie because, as far as we know, anything that he's repeating is stuff that she has told him. But he just takes over, just like he took over the first interview. He acts like he's this noble gentleman that's just going to protect his wife because that's what you do, even though he was about to walk away from Sebastian and Katie because he couldn't handle it anymore, according to Seth, that their marriage was on the flip-flop rocks. And here we want to believe that they're just stand by your man, stand by your woman, right? When, especially after listening to Nina's interview and the mother of Christopher Proudfoot and stuff like that, it's just crazy. Oh, by the way, just for people that didn't know. So a lot of us have always made a comment on the fact of why, right? Why would you go to a 5K channel? Now, the Duchess does say that Chris's, from Chris's side, that something, oh, darn it, I had it in my head. Chris's something cousin knows the family. So basically, Duchess, whoever talked to Duchess said that they know Christopher Proudfoot's mother's cousin or something like that. And then she said, yeah, she can put it out. But why in the flipping world would your first interview that you're coming out with sit and on a YouTube channel instead of going nationally, right? To this whole fight for finding my son, finding my child. I can't think of any reason why I personally should sit there and support Katie and Christopher with all of their actions that you would think would be done, how they've handled this. And they could be absolutely innocent. And if they are absolutely innocent and had nothing to do with Sebastian's disappearance, you suck. You suck as parents. For anyone fighting to find their child, you suck. I can't even say that enough because there are so many abnormalities to their actions. It's not even funny, to be honest with you. It's so absurd. It's so absurd that, you're going to a YouTube channel. You're not sitting there going like Seth going, let's find my son. I need to find my son. I'm so broken. I just want my son. He literally is pretty much in tears every time he's talking about it. You never get that vibe. The Proudfoots have done lives where they're literally like, hey, I think it feels like we're just sitting around a campfire, and Chris is making comments like, well, after some time, you just need to move on. It is what it is. Got to move. He doesn't give two shits about Sebastian Rogers, right? But who knows? Who knows if these two play a role in it? I'm just telling you, they stank. They stank as parents, and I'm sure that they stink a bit more than that too. Okay, so anyways, so that was my beef on this one. You're in a car, but Katie's telling it, right? Not Christopher this time. Both times, the first time Christopher's telling it, then Katie tells it, and then, like I said, this cough comes in, whether you want to deem that as odd, and then all of a sudden she stammers, kind of like SF investigates, and then three-way call. Why didn't we hear that? Because he insisted that he immediately called in the second interview. That would be from home. He obviously didn't immediately call because he likes to be, let's just make this crystal clear. Okay, now this is another one that bugs me. Just saying, just another one that bugs me. Okay, Proudfoot's dance. He's so narcissistic. Okay, this is about falling asleep at 10 o'clock. Please note that Katie at no point corrects her. So if she is wrong, Katie doesn't acknowledge it whatsoever. How would you not? If someone's giving you kind of a timeline and you got it wrong, at what point would you not kind of interject and be like, oh, no, I didn't fall asleep at 10 and correct. But listen to this one. Thanks again, MSP.
He did have a really good weekend, actually.
He did.
When we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing. When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed, he said, I love you, Mama, and he said, I love you, puppies. A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
And you did tell me that Sebastian is not a runner.
He's not.
It's okay. Take your time.
Sebastian does not have a history of running. I mean, the young man doesn't go outside very much. I mean, everybody in the neighborhood knows him. He is very to himself, so to speak. Between the hours of 12 and 6, he has basically vanished. Walked out of the house, the door was locked and gone.
He didn't take a phone. None of his shoes are missing.
Now, you told me that night that, now, Chris, you were at work. You were out of town at work,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you were not even home.
Correct, ma'am.
And Mom, you fell asleep on the couch about 10 o'clock, but you said that Sebastian went to bed at 9 p.m. And then you got up off the couch and you went to bed, and you said that was around midnight.
Midnight.
And
Walked out of the house, the door was locked and gone.
He didn't take a phone. None of his shoes are missing.
now, you told me that night that, now, Chris, you were at work. You were out of town at work,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you were not even home.
Correct, ma'am.
And Mom, you
I was
fell
muted.
asleep on the couch about 10 o'clock, but you said that Sebastian went to bed at 9 p.m. And then you got up off the couch and you went to bed, and you said that was around midnight.
Midnight.
And nothing was unusual at that point. Everything seemed okay.
There's actually a piece of,
Melissa, what are you
so to
trying to
make
call me?
something very
I'm gonna
crystal
mute it.
clear, so that way
Okay.
there's transparent.
I have to stop for a second. So here I am, blah, blah, blah. You guys aren't reading my lips, and I look down and you're saying I'm muted. Totally. So sorry about that. Totally. So sorry about that. My point was, thanks, Melissa. My point there, okay, was, and I'm going to play it a little bit again, is that at no point did she stop and correct her if she was wrong. She literally agreed with her when she said, so you said you went to bed at 10 o'clock, or you told me you went to bed at 10 o'clock, and that, you basically you didn't go to, or you woke up and went to sleep around, midnight type of thing, or whatever she said there. right? And she's just like, yeah, around midnight or whatever she said. And then at no point does she disagree with her with this statement at all. So if he calls her at 9:43 to 9:46, and yet we're hearing this, well, you told us that you went to sleep around 10 o'clock. And then all of a sudden, Christopher Proudfoot jumps in, right? Let me be crystal clear. So it was around midnight when she was falling asleep, and then I told her to put up the dogs. Okay. But what I'm saying, my point here is that she's literally telling you that you said that you fell asleep around 10 o'clock. You're not correcting her. You even add to it and say, that's right. I went to bed close to 12 or whatever it was. And she doesn't correct her. Don't you think you would correct somebody and say something like, no, I was falling asleep, but it was like, closer to 12 or something like that. You think that would have been a correction there by Katie, but no, she just goes along exactly with what she said. So then it leads you to believe, okay, again, are they lying? Are they purposely, like I said, saying this, and yet she really was? Because that would coincide with kind of that posting from the neighbor, where she was like, well, what's going on with Sebastian? And then she was kind of told this story that was similar, but a few things were off from it. But it bugs me because what's her name? Duchess. Yeah, I said, like, so you told me that you went to bed. So say that again, with part again.
Mom, you fell asleep on the couch about 10 o'clock, but you said that Sebastian went to bed at 9 p.m. And then you got up off the couch and you went to bed, and you said that was around midnight. And nothing was unusual at that point. Everything seemed okay.
Okay, right? So he's ready to jump in right there, right? But they had a conversation before this live, right? This is their first interview. They had a conversation. So obviously during that conversation, the whole her falling asleep around 10 o'clock, and hence why she's bringing it up on the live. But at no point does Katie correct her whatsoever. It's only when Big Mouth Proudfoot comes in. So let me be
There's
crystal
actually
clear.
a piece of, so to make something very crystal clear, so that way there's transparency across the board. Me and the mom were on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46 in the evening. We stayed on the phone for quite some time. The call logs have been verified by all the police departments, TBI included. We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed. Now, mind you, that was right around midnight.
Okay. Like we always keep saying, every one of us, when you're telling the truth, you don't have to think about it. And I get things get added in here, thud, noise, whatever. I get things get added in there, right? Obviously, no one's going to remember everything. But they've told this story so many times. It's been like pulling teeth out of Katie to get a timeline out of her. The interviews, the inconsistency. Like, if you're talking Christopher Proudfoot, he does like to interject and be like, let me be crystal clear. So just to be transparent, we had a phone call between this. Well, in other lives, he's not interjecting, talking about how he was and how him and Katie were having a conversation and stuff like that. You would think that of all the times, and this one always bugged me too, on Web Sleuths, when they finally did this interview on Web Sleuths, they were talking about, the nighttime with Sebastian. It was the first time that I heard Christopher Proudfoot. I was waiting for him to bring it up about the fact of, look, I was on the phone talking with Katie. I'm pretty darn sure that if Katie's on the phone with me and Sebastian heard a thud, and that she said, Sebastian, did you fall out of your bed? No, ma'am. Well, I don't know what you're doing in there, but get your butt to sleep or whatever it was, right? You would have think at some point Christopher just would have said, like, yeah, that's true. I mean, I was on the phone with her and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, about the thud, about anything. So it's like they just cherry pick. But it's so, again, their interviews, they're just never consistent. They're always like the one I just showed about the calling the police. So you're right there, immediately right there. You don't hear about the car thing till like the third video, even though I think it's in the scanning video. And I think, I can't remember now. But anyways, I'm just saying, right? So these are the little irritants. And then this is another big irritant because he said it about the window. When he was asked about Sebastian going out the window, he says, no, we would have heard him. So just let me go to that one for a second because I want to show you another one just quickly. I got so many different, is it this one? Sorry, I got so many different ones open here. Where did you go? Where'd you go, Cotton Eye Joe? Come on, I know I must have you. Did I? I had two of them open. Oh, here it is, missing in plain sight. So this is the one. Okay, I thought I was on getting it wrong. Okay, so the whole point of listening to this one quickly is about the word we. Okay, so
she's given like the description of, you know, what he was last seen like in the black outfit. Is that something that he wore to bed?
Yes. So he wore, like I said, it was the black pants with the white stripes down the side. It was a long sleeve black shirt. It was not a hoodie. It wasn't a sweatshirt. It was a long sleeve black shirt.
And y'all think that he went out the front door?
Right now, that is the best assumption available.
Y'all don't think maybe he might have put a sweater on or something? I mean,
that right there that would be an assumption, and we never saw him.
Yeah.
We saw what he went to bed in, and that was it.
We saw what he went to bed
why
in, right? So it's just so strange, okay? Because this reminds me totally of the Suzanne Morphew case, or when people don't know. But okay, sorry, I gotta find where I was. Where did that video go again? I think it was back. Okay. Let's go towards the end.
And we never saw him.
Yeah.
We saw what he went to bed in, and that was it.
Right.
Well, that's why.
Okay, hold on. Okay, right. We saw what he went to bed in, and that was it. Okay. Now think about this. How many times in the first few interviews, right, Melissa? Right. We saw, right? Just like we would have heard him go out the window. Okay. We know that to overuse that is unnatural because we all know that when Christopher Proudfoot is talking in his first few interviews, for sure, he's always referring to Katie as the mom. The mom went to get, to check on her son. The mom went to do this. The boy, her son, doesn't really refer to Sebastian as Sebastian, and clearly keeps saying the mom. So if you are always talking about the mom in your first, instead of saying Katie, at all, right? He's totally always saying the mom went to do this. And then all of a sudden you keep hearing all these we would have saw him go out the window. We would have saw him, we saw the clothes that he had on that night type of thing. So where did all this, the mom, as if you're not even connected. And then all of a sudden, all these strange, we would have saw him go out the window, or we would have heard him go out the window. We saw what he saw. Okay. When it comes from slime balls, like Barry Morphew's of the world, or Christopher Proudfoot's of the world, I question that stuff because it does make you wonder, was there a part that they played in Sebastian's disappearance at all that night? Because he did disappear. So why would a child just go out of their home with their little keychain flashlight, no shoes, and start wandering off without being found? Right? So unless they missed him and he's somewhere tucked in, somewhere in a crevice somewhere, why? But yet the flashlight video shows a person going back, on Nick's, right? You see it come down, but then you also see subject to go back this way, right? So is that participant of the family helping to do something with Sebastian, and maybe that person is right, slung him over the freaking shoulder and no shoes because you're in that moment of, not even thinking about doing that. And yet you see this flashlight video, or light video, whatever you want to call it, of this light. And I think to me, at least, it's clear that those lights are coming definitely from the right side of the camera angle. There's no other place that they could be coming from, to be honest with you. Just like what Pincho did there, Pincho Paxton, right? Did a really great job on the 3D thing. But anyways, so how do you go from the mom, we would have. So you just wonder if these are Freudian slips, kind of like when Katie's talking about Christopher being gone, and the last time that he was home was February 1st when he was asked about that. And then Katie's like, so the next time we know, according to them, he was home February 26th, right, when Sebastian was gone. So then why did Katie say, after being asked about that Chris had seen Sebastian when he come home? But you literally just said that he's been gone since the 1st, and that's the last time he was physically home. But then when you were asked about the 2 to 3 weeks that he's been gone, she said, well, yeah, Chris saw Sebastian when he come home. Well, when did he come home again then? Because you literally just said that he left home on the 1st, and that was the last time. So there's no way that Christopher Proudfoot could have seen Sebastian again on the 26th, because Sebastian disappeared, into thin air like a Houdini, right? Good night, Mark. So anyways, right? But this couple, whatever you want to call them, this couple, Christopher and Katie, like there's just so much that oozes and seeps deception, things that most people wouldn't say about a case study, besides Christopher Proudfoot, because he doesn't give 2 shits about Sebastian. He didn't give 2 shits about Faith. He didn't even want Faith, right? It's probably, when I think of Christopher Proudfoot's mom, right, whatever her name is again, I can't help but think of like, what's that, Cinderella, the stepsisters and that witch of a mother type of thing. I can't always help but when I think of Christopher Proudfoot's mom, she's like that evil witch, that's like, you don't need to want Faith. I want to see my granddaughter. We just need to get her away from that evil Nina. And then the judge sees right through the shit, the trap that they did to her, and then awards Faith back, right? Christopher Proudfoot, regardless, you are a slime bucket. You are a womanizer, cheater. You are an abuser. You are a piece of shit. And let karma roll where it may when it comes to you guys. And if you guys had anything at all to do with Sebastian's disappearance, like I said, may you burn in hell, rot in hell for the rest of the days of your life. And if you didn't, I'm not even going to apologize, to be honest, because you're still pretty shitty parents. That's all I got to say about that part. Anyways, just venting. For Melissa, I think she wanted to quickly see something. I do want to play one other thing in a second here. This is why everyone, well, exactly. Why, who wouldn't, honestly? Like I said, they're the most guilty, like we've said, right? They're the most guilty, innocent people ever then. That literally shows every sign of deception, lies, deceit, mistruths, not looking for their child or stepchild. Christopher Proudfoot himself is totally, I would say, like if he wasn't involved in this and just shut his pie hole, right? And if it was just Katie, it probably might have been looked at in a totally different light. But the minute that guy opens up his diarrhea, vomit mouth, and he starts speaking the whole narcissistic thing, the whole double talking, the whole, like we go on and on, right, about the hitting of the CPS and the belt, and he couldn't remember. Then all of a sudden he doesn't remember on Nancy Grace, but he remembers about this and that. And he's like, oh, my dear, I don't think I have that many. I don't know what cases I have. I mean, if my lawyers don't know. Anyways, the lying of the polygraph test, the lying about that the police, the LE said about the case study first, how he says it on one channel, and then another channel, it's like he admits that, yeah, like I'm the one that brought it up, because yeah, it's definitely a case that everyone thinks to solve after 8 days. You automatically think it's a miracle case, it's just ridiculous. Like it's to me, these people are so ridiculous. Like, again, you're the shittiest effing mother and stepdad for sure in this world. And whatever people saw in him, I don't get it. It's like a frog. Like Christopher Palver reminds me of this ugly frog that, like, were people drunk when they said, yeah, you know what, let's hang out, let's get married. 5 marriages later, I mean, the guy's a toad and a narcissist. Are these people stupid? Did they not even see it? Sorry, Nina, but did you guys not even I can't even say this, right? I mean, we all have our own things. I have my own background. Why do you stay in a relationship when somebody beats you? Stuff like that, right? Right? Because we're stupid sometimes. Anyways, present share screen. I think it's Wondershare you wanted me to show you quickly. I think you said, hold on, let me just go back to this. I do want to play one other thing. Yeah, most guilty, innocent people. Is that Jeff? Jeff, you need to play with the videos in this case. You need to do what you're good at. You need to help. So, Jeff, what I really need to know from you, Jeff, when you got time to play, okay? There's like 3 videos out there, okay? I want to know where the second light that's moving and the third light are coming from. I need placement, Jeff. I need you to do what you do best, which is play with videos and footage. So I'm asking of you, Jeff, nothing much. Just if you could have that done in the next 48 hours, that would be great. All right, then. I don't need to hear anything else, Jeff. Just know your role, shut your hole. It's all right. Send me the videos, and I'll see what I can do. You know I will. Now, I think Melissa said she wanted to see this without the without this one on it. Fine. Let me take it down here. I think this is what you're talking about, Melissa, this one here. So what is it you want to see? So this is 2007 from Google Maps, because you guys know that I love my Google Earth, but Google Earth doesn't have a timeline scale where you can scale it back. I don't know why it doesn't have one for this area. So you have to go onto Google Maps to use the 2007. And even then, sometimes it will pop into 2023 instead. Yes. What did you want? Yes. The one with the overlay video. No, yes, know your role. Jeff, you know you love it when I talk to you like that. Don't even go there. But anyways, what is it you wanted to know on this particular picture? Here, let me make it bigger for a second. Yeah. Okay, I agree with you. The double light is where you said, oh, okay. I damn well, okay, and I know this from a message here. You know damn well Robin's sitting there, smiley smugging, which she had things she said in this email here, going, see, you should have believed me. Instead of telling me to go suck somebody's, you should have believed me and whatever. I'm telling you, if I had the choice to believe regular people or the LE, I'm going to choose the LE. But in this case, I'm going to go against them, because I don't believe that there ain't no truck. So in saying that, stop screen. Let's go over to Gray Hughes' picture of this, right? Okay, so let me show that for a second. Boom, boom, boom. So I don't even believe Christopher or Seth is what I'm telling myself now. Maybe they don't even believe it anymore, to be honest with you. Who knows? Okay, so if this is Gray Hughes' rendition right here, okay, and he has the lights over at this house. Okay. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. The camera angle distinctly cuts off right about here, right? Right about here where the boat is, let's just say. Okay. And then, but he showed this to Christopher Proudfoot. And Christopher Proudfoot, okay, so this light up here, right, is the garbage truck on Honeysuckle. Kiss my ass, that's some garbage truck on Honeysuckle. Okay, no. The lights are not there because the camera is not pointing like that. The camera, and this is what the rendition that Pincho did, and I gotta say, like I said, he did a great job. Just, knowing full well that he did a great job. But to me, those floodlights are off in the top corner of the house, just even like Mob Crew was talking about. Floodlights in the corner. Those are 2 floodlights. Those are not cylinder ones that are like on the garage door, but it was one of these best renditions that he has, to me. But those are definitely floodlights. You can definitely see 2 of them, not a cylinder. You see 2, right? And they have that little droopy thing, when they spider down a little bit and then they go to the bulb. So anyways, regardless, it's coming from that house. Ain't coming from that house on there, the one that they're showing, because that one's not even in the line of view from where this camera is. Am I on the right thing? Oh, maybe I need to be over here. Sorry. I think I need to be on the picture when I'm doing that. Okay. So this isn't even in the line of view. We know that the boat goes about here. Okay. There ain't no, oops, let's follow these lights and go this. Okay. The view is like this, where it cuts off where the boat is. That's what Pincho was trying to show. And I was using the boat line too, because you kind of, it's a wise thing to use because you can see where it is on the grass and where it, oh yeah, my husband looks like, tired as fuck, he's saying it. Okay, apparently husband wants to go to bed. Okay. Okay, husband, a couple minutes. Let's see here. But anyway, so the line of view is like this, right? Like right here, basically. Hence why you get this house in there. But according to what they were told was that, according to Gray Hughes talking to Christopher Proudfoot, that this was where the lights were, that this is the garbage truck on Honeysuckle, and then there's some stagnant whatever light, or this light source here, right? But it doesn't make sense. And I think Pincho showed that very clearly, why that wouldn't make sense. And I'm sorry, but there ain't no freaking garbage truck way up there. Okay, you can clearly see that this, hold on, let me go back. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me go back to, husband wants to go to sleep. Bad husband. I don't have to work till 12 tomorrow. What are you talking about? Okay, hold on a second. Share screen. And then let's go back to Wondership. Okay. Let's go back to the lights. Okay. Okay, let's go back to where they pop in first. Let's go back. So we know that the highest point is these lights. The highest point of these lights. Okay, so let's wait for them to kick in. Oh, wait, I think I missed it. Let me go back. Let's go. Okay, right? The light starts popping in here. Do you think some garbage truck is coming down like a ski slope? Because if this is the highest point and they're showing the garbage truck higher, okay, and they're showing the garbage truck higher, right? So hold on. You guys get what I'm saying, right? The light pops in there is showing. Now let's go back to Gray Hughes picture, according to Chris. Okay. This light is here, and that light is higher than those lights. But yet we don't see that in the video at all. The light comes in lower than those lights. So regardless, the lights come in lower. So I'm going to say, Ellie, normally I would trust in you, what you've said and stuff like that. But honestly, I don't, either they need to really go back and review this, which I'm sure that they have, or something, because there's no way that those lights can be higher than the actual video that you're showing, which you can tell is from the camera because it has 4 and you can see where the recording is. Like I said, I've dealt with cameras and stuff like that and those same things. But to me, I was just looking for the legitimacy of those videos. And when somebody's screen recording and you can see that they're in the control of that video, that obviously if 4 matches February for the Sunday of the 4th and it falls in line with the February calendar of 2024, then that makes sense that that person is recording that is true, that right. So if that light is higher, you guys get what I'm saying? You guys get what I'm saying? Right. I asked Sunny to make me a mod for her channel and she refused. I hate her. Oh, you're just a troll. You know what? I'm not even going to boot you. You go right ahead and you stay right there. You go ahead. If it makes you feel better. Let's see here. Maybe it's a Batman laser signal, right? All I know. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to play before husband, I'm almost done. Okay, is this because I think it's important to always remember why we're here, what we're fighting for, which is truth for the Sebastian Rogers case. It's about Sebastian Rogers, even if he has the stankiest mom and stepdad. You know, I mean, Seth Rogers to me is the epitome of somebody that's missing their child, is screaming from the rooftops, you know, doesn't let up. That to me is very noble of what a parent should be doing. You would think. You want a mod like that? Okay, let me play this out quickly, and just because I think it's really important.
$1,000 is now being offered in the case of Sebastian Rogers, the 15-year-old who has autism, has not been seen in 6 months. Thanks for staying with us here tonight. I'm Tracy Cornett.
I'm Laura Lowry. Tonight, Sebastian's mother and father, stepfather, I should say, are speaking out again. They broke their silence Wednesday night after learning the FBI is offering this new reward for the return of their 15-year-old son. They say they're thankful for all the people who've been advocating, trying to bring Sebastian home, and are hopeful the money encourages someone with information to come forward.
Just knowing that he's out there, nobody knows, and there's absolutely nothing that leads us anywhere I just think it's very important to keep him out there. With everybody struggling right now and the economy being so bad, I feel like if somebody knows something, 50 grand is a lot to push somebody into saying something.
And that $50,000 reward is being offered by the FBI in partnership with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. Investigators say there is no evidence pointing to foul play or ruling it out. Now,
looks like that was it, I suppose, on there. Thought there was a little bit more to that, but I just think it's of course aware now that you know what, that does always strike me, right? You know, like nobody came forward, like okay, like you would think that somebody would come forward outside of the family if they knew what happened to Sebastian Rogers or had seen him or something like that. Like we're talking like dog's money, and this money is like what, $250K, right? For any information, $250K. So either Sebastian just, you know, just got lost and he's trapped somewhere and he's dead and nobody can have found him. All the searches equated nothing. Possible still that somebody did overlook him. It's very strange that he would leave and with no shoes and go on a walkabout. The only thing I ever thought, and I know that we know that there's no dogs that led a scent to the retention pond. The only thing I ever thought about the retention pond was maybe he was looking because he loved playing Minecraft, right? And anyone that knows Minecraft know it's this, you know, freaking little Lego blocky people underground building with dirt and digging dirt away and creating little whatever, little areas or whatever it is, kitchens or whatever underground there. So I thought to myself, well, maybe he just snuck out, wanted to go check out there, pretend like he was playing the real Minecraft game or something like that. That did cross my mind. Sunny, did you see my message earlier? No. Where's your message? Where's your message? Where's your message, Lacey? But anyways, so it always makes you pause for thought when $250,000 is up for grabs, because if they didn't give two shits about Sebastian, like, because they just, like, we're told somebody might know that would come forward, but you know, I mean, he just didn't. I don't think he just left there himself. I mean, it's an option still, of course, because we don't know, but I think that light video does play into Sebastian's disappearance, whatever timestamp that's determined as, that perhaps somebody, which I've always thought too as well, that it's either he was missing or meaning and they couldn't find him, or that somebody assisted in helping him. Maybe it's like one of those weird ass teachers that sleep with the 12-year-old in bed and get pregnant, and then their kid looks like the frickin' father and the 12-year-old, and then someone notices it on Facebook. Like, those whack job teachers do exist, thinking that they're the protectors, Who knows? I think it's more closer to home, to be honest with you. I pray. Can you cover the Brian case tomorrow? No, can't do. I'm working tomorrow. And honestly, we followed that case for a while, and then I stopped. I follow it to know what's kind of going on, really, but all I'm waiting for is just the actual, to see it. So I'm not going to be covering it now, to be honest with you. I can't. I don't have the time. And there's lots of channels that will. And I couldn't sit there and watch 8 hours of court without freaking wanting. I'd probably rather watch paint dry, to be honest. I like watching court TV wrap-ups where they watch 20-30 minutes of the day. But anyway, so that's my final answer. But anyway, so whatever's going on with Brian Kohlberg tomorrow, I'm not even sure, to be honest. I was too busy watching Vinny on the Delphi earlier. If nobody came forward for the reward money, then my opinion is that it has to be a family member. I truly believe that. So unless, yes, I'm almost off, honey. So I totally believe that if Sebastian, and they just simply couldn't, like, that he did leave and they couldn't find him, and he's somewhere in that whole vicinity that everybody searched multiple times, that definitely, I feel like it's somebody that knew him, somebody that he knew. Somebody, whether it's a relative, somebody that he knew. Something happened to Sebastian Rogers. I hate this case. I think it's sucky that we don't have any video footage of Sebastian Rogers whatsoever, that we don't have more than what we do. I just think in this day and age, how can we not know something more than what we do? Crack that whip, husband. Yeah, he actually didn't say anything, but I was just trying to, husband, I'm almost off on there. But anyways, I don't want you to go, but you're not going to get some. Anyways, yeah, I do got to go to bed only because husband needs to sleep. But yeah, I'm on the 12 to 8 shifts. So I got like, tomorrow's my last day, and then I got 2 days off. Then I'll be covering Sebastian and whatever else again. And then I work 10 to 6 on Sunday, and then 12 to 8 shifts. So we have the rotations, right? 12 to 8 for 2 weeks. 6 to 2 type of thing, 8 to 4 type of thing. I work for, I'm not going to tell you who I work for, but anyway, I work for like head office for customer service. And so all day we deal with issues, but I thought it was really important. I just really wanted to talk about the Lore Lodge, SF investigates. I wanted to talk about that quickly, talk about Pincho's video, how myself, once I actually looked at the videos properly, considering what Seth and Christopher said, I always just believe that to be accurate. I just don't think that's accurate anymore myself. So yes, so I am a believer that that video has a good chance of having something to do with Sebastian and his disappearance from his home, regardless of the broken timestamp. We still know that the date to be accurate, and it still doesn't matter so much about the time, because we can only know so much. And I just hope that somebody has some sort of information that breaks open this case, because it's so devastating to know. This one hurts the heart so bad. I think about it. I go to sleep thinking about it. I wake up in the morning, I have nightmares about it, because you just are so sad that something happened to Sebastian. You don't know what happened, and there's no answers as of yet, right? That's like having your own personal loved one that's missing, right? Like all those people that go into how Adventures with Purpose does and stuff like that. And you go and you search for missing people that have been missing, cold cases, and then they find their bodies in the cars, but never to have an answer on your heart for a family member that's missing or murdered, and you have no idea where they are. So just imagine that type of pain, and you put that upon yourself thinking about Sebastian, and you're just like, something happened to you, son. Something happened to you. And why the hell do we care more than what seems like your own mother and stepfather care about you? You know, that's really pathetic, because that's how it comes across. Anyways, with that being said, I will send you those videos, but let me get to bed first, or get my husband. But anyways, so with that being said, next time I'll be doing a live, which will be Friday night. We'll cover Sebastian, go over whatever again, anything, if there's any news. As for SF Investigates, dude, you're the biggest douchebag beyond Christopher Proudfoot. But hey, if you ever get truthful information, or information that really is accurate and counts, then that's great and awesome. Or for anyone who does that. And so, yeah, so justice for Sebastian's army, Sebastian Strong, etc. All right. So good night, you guys. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, MST, for becoming a member. And yeah, Jeff, like I said, I'll send you soon. Okay. I just gotta, extend husband. All right. Okay. Anyways, you guys, it was been a slice. Have a good one. And I gotta find the outro. Where's my outro? There it comes. Bye, guys.